So this is the place where we're going to be spending the next 13 weeks, taking this really drab area and turning it into something amazing. Right now, I wouldn't want to spend any time here. It really is a patio wannabe, but we're going to take it to the next level. 13 weeks, a complete makeover. And first off, we're starting with a water feature right in the corner here. And you know, there's that thing about adding water into the area where you spend loads of time. Just adding that sound of the running water works incredibly well, and they do go hand in hand. So that's the first task that Garth and I are going to get stuck into. I'm armed and dangerous. I've got my axe and I'm ready to remove this plant. Now, yes, all plants are really, really nice. However, in the wrong place, it just doesn't work and you end up with more trouble. Now, this is a delicious monster. You can see why, because take a look at those roots. Delicious monsters actually need to be in very big gardens because they do take up so much space. If you are wanting to put something with this kind of leaf into your garden, then rather go with the Philodendron Xanadu, which is its baby cousin, a much more smaller growing variety, which is more well suited to small gardens. So first things first is let's get this guy out. Do you see why you only want to plant this plant once in your garden? And whenever you plant it, let it remain there for the next 10 to 15 years of its life. Because if you have to remove it, you've seen the struggle that Garth and I have had to get this guy out, because its roots are just an absolute pain. The roots of this terrible plant are out now. Next up, all I've got to do is just rake the area, level it out a bit, so that we can then start with where we're going to be putting the base of the water feature. All important that you've got to get that right. This should be about right. And now Garth's going to bring in the base of the water feature, which we then need to get in just in the right spot. Okay, this is pretty simple. It's a water feature that comes in basic segments. You get the base like this, which is made out of fiberglass, and then you get a fiberglass top, which fits on it as well. Really nice and neat. And yes, if you wanted to, you could probably just use a bowl from one of those plastic shops. But anyway, first of all, what we got to do is decide where we're going to put this guy. And it's not a very big water feature, but then this area that we're working with is not very big either. What I am enjoying is that the fact that there's this really nice curve here in the patio, which we're going to keep even in the makeover. So I think most importantly that we've got a bit of equal distance there and equal distance there, Garth.
Yeah.
Do you think this will do?
Yes, looks fine, Tanya.
I think that's all right. And we've got the curve going with the curve of the edge. So yeah, this is the spot. Let's mark it out. Thanks, Garth. Now that we're here, all that we do is lift this guy up. Okay, that's our circle. That's where we need to remove it. Remembering that whatever we do, we've got to dig it that deep. So we're just going to dig this hole out now and prep the ground. Garth, I think this should be perfect. Let's just do a test. There we go. Remember that we do not want this to be completely level, because we're still going to be putting in plants here and digging in some compost, which means it's going to raise the soil level. So right about there, I think we're right. All we're going to do now is throw a bit of river sand into the bottom here, just to form a nice smooth base that we can then work off. Yeah. Okay, that's first step one. Go and get some more, Garth. Okay, level, Garth. It's so important that we get this part right, because once you've put the grid on and you've put the pebbles down and you put your ball on top, and if it's not level, well, the water feature just ain't going to work properly and you're going to be so frustrated. So now that we're happy that it's perfectly level, Garth, let's do some backfilling here. Don't stress if some soil falls inside the basin at this point, because that's probably going to happen. Just fill it in, and then we put a hose pipe around just to make sure that all that soil really gets in there and no air pockets are left. Good job, Garth. Okay, now we've got the pump and we've got our lid that we're going to be putting on. So easy, this guy. Okay, so Charlie, you can't swim in this pond, my girl. Okay, we've got a relatively small pump that we're using. This is a 620, and really all that you're wanting is something that's going to get to pump to about 30 centimeters. That's maximum. I always prefer to use pumps that are slightly stronger because the worst part is putting it all in there and then your pump is not strong enough. So literally just put that into place, and we're going to feed the cord around the back so that we've got it ready to get into the plug point. Okay, make sure that this guy is as center as possible, and then feed it through right here. Okay, let's pull it through, and there we go. Fantastic. That's probably the hardest part. Now, Garth, you've made the cement half moons, essentially, a bit earlier, which are going to go on top here. Should we go and get those guys?
Yes.
Garth, these oaks are not as heavy as I thought they were going to be. Okay, so tell me, how did you make these guys?
Very simple, Tanya. All I got is a nice fruit salad bowl, plastic.
I hope that's not your wife's. Yes, anyway.
Right. Okay, then I got a piece of conduit.
Okay,
Hold the conduit in the middle
okay,
of the bowl, and you've got a mixture of 2 stone, 2 river sand, and 2 cement.
okay,
Make
so
it
it's
to-
equal
It's all
portions.
equal. It's a medium strength. And mix it up to a nice slushy mix. You just pour a little bit in as you go. Tap the bowl until you get to the top. Tap it again. Get all the air bubbles out, and you just smooth the top. And when it's nearly dry, you just turn this PVC pipe a bit, so
Okay.
you've got a nice clear hole through the bottom.
And how long did it take to dry, Garth?
About a week.
Okay, great. So you made 2 of these. We've got 2 half moons, and that's going to form the top of our water feature.
Correct, Tanya.
Brilliant. Okay, let's get that guy out of there and see what happens. Okay, Garth, so all we got to do now is you're going to unveil that guy, take it out of its mold, and then we're going to roll it up and feed it through the
Through there.
conduit. Okay, let's do that. Brilliant. Okay, through it goes. Excellent, and gently down. Awesome stuff, Garth. Okay, pop this oakie on top. Okay. Brilliant stuff. What I'm going to do now is, just to make it easier to put the silicone in, I'm just going to trim this off. And this is not at the right length, it's literally just trimming it. And Garth, you've got the silicone handy, and we're just going to put the silicone around here to seal this off so that water doesn't fall back in by the tubing. Whilst the silicone is busy drying, I need some inspiration and I need some plants. So we're going to go off to the garden centre and go and choose some plants to put around here, put them in, and then finish it off with the pebbles and the final touches. We're at a great little garden centre called the Plant and Flower Nursery, and I am dying to get stuck in here. There are some beautiful plants which we're going to choose for our makeover. How's it, Diane?
Hello, Tanya.
Okay, I want some of these guys, Duranta balls. They are beautiful, hey? Let's take, I think I might need 5 or 6 of these. Let's give it a bash here. Oh, those guys are nice. Come, let's go over here. Come, come, come. Oh, I love these. I love the colour and the texture, and they're going to work really, really nice around that water feature. So, might need about 8 or 9 of these, I think. Back from the garden centre, and I've got 3 fabulous plants. I've got Sansevieria. This is the silver variety, mother-in-law's tongue. Yeah, that's the one. I've got some Agapanthus, some are gold, beautiful golden leaves with the green stripe, and yes, they do get a flower. And then I've got some Durantashina's gold, which have been clipped into balls, which of course are going to follow the same shape as our water feature. Remember, when planting, always use either superphosphate or bone meal, put in loads of compost and a bit of bounce back just to get them on their way.
Tanya's chosen 3 plants to use around the water feature. Durantashina's gold, shaped in a ball to complement the shape of the water feature. Sansevieria, or mother-in-law's tongue, with pointy, sharp leaves. And summer gold Agapanthus. with slim, slender two-tone leaves. Remember, the agapanthus stems will grow tall, so there will be different levels of plants. The ones below and the tall stems of the agapanthus with the ball-shaped flower at the top, again complementing the shape of the water feature. Make sure the soil is well nourished. Dig in some superphosphate or bone meal, compost and a handful of bounce back to get them going. This combination of plants has been specifically chosen for variations in colour, height, shape and texture, as well as the area in which they'll be planted.
Garden's all planted up. Final bits that we need to do is to cut the rest of our tubing, cut that off as level as possible with the top of our balls that we've put in here. And this is the tricky part. Make sure that you cut it off as smoothly as possible. Now all we do is put down the pebbles and switch on the water feature. Pebbles in place. Hey presto, Garth, can you switch it on, please? Ha-ha, look at you! There you go. Now what we need to do at this point now is we're gonna see how our water feature is going. Make sure, you might need to fiddle with this tubing here a little bit. Just pull it over, but don't stress out if it shoots up, because as the water starts circulating, so it will eventually take the natural flow and it will start falling over. There we go. Beautiful water feature, as easy as punch. Really, really simple, and with these gorgeous plants around it and the pebbles, it really does work. The water is just simply flowing back into our sump. No mess, no fuss, and really safe for kids as well. Beautiful townhouse garden that I know has inspired you. A great water feature, also for small gardens, or if you've got a big garden, well then you just make a bigger ball. Till next week, do take care and happy gardening.
The Gardener is proudly brought to you by PPC Cement.